Oh, I'm good.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our monthly independent / creator owned / non-big two solicitations preview stream. Of course, your main host, Dom of X, NMC manager, and CR.com editor. And of course, I've got my two amazing co-hosts here alongside me. I don't have weekly, but it is what it is with Omar out, and very happy for them to be here. Of course, to the person in the middle is
Joe talks comics, where I talk events about the comics that we've been really enjoying lately, plus creator interviews. And after a few months hiatus of the podcast, I was glad to be back last week with an episode going over some of my picks of the December solicitations. And this Friday, I've got an exciting, seasonally appropriate episode with this indie horror cartoonist I don't think many people have heard of because he hasn't that many published works, called Frederick Hornung, which I would highly recommend. You just look up his artwork. It's just absolutely awesome. And I know that Taylor might be really interested in his new book, Seconds to Midnight, which is like a horror anthology inspired by one of those kind of classic horror anthologies. So I'm very excited to have that conversation go live because it's a very fun conversation and awesome project. And yeah, excited to go over these solicits once again.
He's hyping Taylor up, and he's hyping the rest of you guys up. So Definitely. Be sure to check out Joe's awesome Talking Comics podcast here this Friday. Of course, to the right hand of the screen is somebody who is well versed in everything Fantagraphics and independent / creator owned media alike, and that is none other than
Taylor Talks Comics. Thank you, Dom. That's a wonderful introduction. Yes, and on my channel, over on Taylor Talks Comics, everyone please subscribe. I'm doing 31 days of horror comics again. So I did this last year. I'm doing it again. I'm showing off everything from like hidden gems, single issues, like Rick Veitch's first comic he ever did, Two-Fisted Zombies, to the great EC comic stuff from Fantagraphics, to even I showed off Dr. Worthless from Eric Powell and Harold Schechter. Everything in between. Every day of October, I'm coming out with a different video with a horror comic or horror comic related topic. And I'm actually going to drop today's video right when the stream ends. So look forward to that.
So look at that, guys. He's already ahead of the game and in the game in terms of the horror scene. And yes, Taylor did all of that last year. I was absolutely in shock when I saw that he was able to do the 31 days straight, and he is of course
very impressive to see.
30. Yeah,
I appreciate that. It's not easy, I will say, but it's a lot of fun, and I get a lot of good feedback from people that get into it as well, and that's why I do it. I do it for the people.
You do it for the people, as is the man of Taylor. And of course, you can check out all of these previews and solicitations over at comicreleases.com, where we will be previewing these right there and throughout. And for $2, you can track all of the books that are going to be on the side as well. And yes, Harvey Picar's Ghost, as appropriately mentioned, Frederick Hornung, Seconds to Midnight, for those who are interested in checking that out. And yes, this is Taylor's YouTube channel, where he will be doing again the 31 days of horror, because it is spooky season. And when I saw all of my friends change their profile pictures on Discord, I was like, oh my gosh, it is spooky season. Well, yes. Good morning to Powers Comics Reader and Ryan Jackson and Edwin Billiot. Yes, indeed. It is December already. I can't believe it's December for these solicitations. And Paperback Dan, morning, afternoon, or I guess Joe's case, evening, right?
Yeah, early evening, about 6 p.m. just gone.
There you go. So there it is, fellas. Let's go ahead and get this party started off as I share the screen in for today with the Image Comics December 2025 solicitations. And yes, that is a cover photo of Radiant Black. We're going to be going over the hardcovers first, the first of which we do have a stacked pre-order month. just to let all of the folks know. Geiger Deluxe Edition Volume 2. This is, of course, the hands of Jeff Johns and Gary Frank, but we also have Paul Pelletier, who recently joined the Motley Crew over at Ghost Machine. This is the direct sequel or follow-up to the first 6-issue Geiger series. This is going to collect the first 9 issues of the current Geiger ongoing.
So I still have not read any of this stuff. And I know that's like, I'm probably the only one on this panel that has not read this stuff. Not for any certain reason, just the fact that I'm behind. And I also have not quite decided if I want to go digital with this or go with these beautiful hardcovers, because they are awesome. I love the price point on them. And it seems like they're committed to this format. Or do I read it digitally on like Hoopla or something? I haven't decided, because shelf space is an issue. But what are your thoughts on the continuation of this? Is this still as good as it was with the first volume?
Yeah, I was going to say, Dom, how much have you read of this?
I am a couple of months behind, but I have read everything in this deluxe Geiger, and it's just as good, if not a little bit better than the first series that came out. That was sort of like a test run, if you will, for Jeff Johns and Gary Frank independent projects.
So is this still the unnamed universe? Is that still what's
Yes,
referred
yeah.
to? Okay.
Yeah.
Is it going to get a name? Or is that what he's going with?
I think that's what they're going for.
Okay.
I think that is the name.
Yeah.
Have they started to cross over titles at all, or like refer to each other at all?
I think they've had like characters show up in each other's titles. Like I think mainly Geiger's, that's like the main one, but
Okay.
I don't think there's been like a distinct like crossover in the sense of like you've got to read issues 1 and 2 of this,
right.
3 and 4 of that. But
are there like
yeah,
references that tell you
Yeah.
they're all in the same universe and things?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, which is quite a fun. I think it's similar to Dom. It sounds like I've caught up on all but the last few months, and I've definitely enjoyed it. I mean, I love Gary Frank's artwork, so anytime he's with Jeff Johns, it's always going to be at least a fun read. It's not like the most like mind blowing thing that I've ever read, but it's just quite a fun sort of like popcorn action read. It tends to be the case of Johns, which I quite like.
Oh, for sure. Like it's all action packed and heavy, and with the if you like these two creators and what they've done, if you've never had read this before, I would definitely suggest it. Although again, it is a volume 2, and even though it is the continuation of it, I would still recommend getting into the first hardcover and its contents before getting into this one. The other thing I also want to mention too, some people have been asking where some of the extra material with like the Ghost Machine 80-page giant and whatnot, those will be in future collected editions, not this one. So
good to know.
So yes, do not worry. The Jeff Johns and Brian Cunningham and all of the creators at Ghost Machine know that the one shot that people have been asking, wait, where is this and where are some of the other issues? It's going to be collected in future issues. Harvey says, Badger Stump says Harvey says buy it immediately. I think Omar is, because we have our reps over at Ghost Machine. He definitely would recommend this. If other people have heard of the indie book, Taylor immediately loses interest.
That's
funny.
That's not incorrect 100%, but that's funny.
So
Dan knows me too well.
He does indeed. All right, second book, and yes, the one that you have probably. I think I got shocked. I know a lot of people got shocked when we heard of this announcement. This is an omnibus format of Invincible, and this is going to collect the first 48 issues of Invincible along with the Marvel Team Up issue number 14, which is not collected in any of the previous Invincible volumes. So
now we have Robert Kirkman trying to win the Guinness Book of World Records for most formats he can release his comics in. Because I don't know if it's in this solicitation or not, but we have seen compact compendiums coming in the future as well for Invincible, which is absurd. But
the only book that has beaten Invincible is Batman Hush in terms of how many formats it's been released in.
Are we sure though?
Yeah, because this doesn't have a noir edition.
Okay, well, as far as editions go, but formats, it's gotten single issues, trade paperbacks, compendiums, hardcover compendiums, oversized hardcovers, the slipcase ones, the omnibus, and then compact compendium. We're up to 7 now for Invincible.
But has it been reprinted 27 times? Is my question.
Sure, I don't know. I mean, it's insane. I will say, as far as that goes, though, all the different formats are geared towards different audiences, which I think is smart. So I know I'm kind of ragging on Kirkman here, but it is smart to have like these smaller, compact ones for like the bookstore market, or maybe even like, you know, the young YA market of the kids that go to libraries and, you know, book fairs or whatever. And then these omnibus ones are probably more for like the adult collectors that are more into the premier hardcover editions. But it does make the oversized hardcovers obsolete, I think. And I would hope that anybody that doesn't have those OHCs already, they're missing some of those volumes, don't get like killed for this. But I don't know. It's in every format you'd possibly want. There's no reason to not have read Invincible. Except I haven't read it, so.
Yeah,
Blind
I mean,
recommendation.
yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
I will one day, I promise, because I'm on record not being the biggest fan of Kirkman's writing, but this is my last shot I'll give him as Invincible. I've read the first 6 issues in a trade paperback years ago, and I enjoyed it just fine. It wasn't mind-blowing, but I know the big twist that happens didn't happen yet, so I'm willing to give it a further shot. But I'll probably read it digitally, if anything.
Yeah, like J. Michael White, for example, saying that they haven't bought any of the Invincible formats yet. Yeah, but so yeah, it is a good starting off point. You do get an issue that has never been collected before in here with Marvel Team Up number 14. And of course, this is the direct market cover. And if I had to choose between either, because I still haven't yet dived into the world. I know everything that happens in Invincible. Because all of my friends who are even like not even into comic books, like they've watched the show, they've read the comic.
Oh, wait, you haven't read Invincible yet either?
No.
Oh, I thought I was the only one in the world. Okay. Everybody, welcome to our show where 2 of us have never read the most popular Image comic of the last, I don't know, decade.
Yeah.
We know what we're talking about.
Have you not read his true work, aka Battle Pope?
Oh my god.
No, I'm aware of
Actually not.
Battle Pope. I've not read that. I mean, I know it's supposed to be like a funny, but I don't know.
The only reason that
I
I
don't want to
haven't
rag
read
on
it
Kirkman too much. I'm not the biggest fan of his writing. I've read.
There you go. Finding Kirkman really hit or miss. There's plenty of reason to not own Invincible.
It's been misses for me. I haven't read any hits of Kirkman's, in my opinion, in my taste. I don't want to. If you love Kirkman, that's your thing. Enjoy him. It's just not mine.
Here's the
To
standard
be honest
cover.
as well,
Guys,
I really love Ryan Otley's artwork because funny enough, I first discovered him on Amazing Spider-Man and Nick Spencer, and then went and read Invincible a few years later, which was quite cool. So
Kirkman,
he
he always works with great artists. I mean, like I loved the art in Firepower.
it's
and
hard
that's
to say
all-
no to Chris Samnee. Like,
And that's all I'll say about Firepower. But the artwork was brilliant. The artwork in The Walking Dead was great. I'm trying to think of the other stuff. Oh, I read some of his Marvel Max stuff had good artwork, but so the artwork I'm sure I'll enjoy in Invincible.
To be honest, I definitely think it's the kind of series where like you can just like binge like I don't know a few dozen issues digitally, and then if you don't want to continue or you don't like it, then at least you haven't like invested too much money or time or space into it.
Another thing I'll add about this collection is I'll be curious how it's mapped out, because I absolutely, and one thing I really, and I don't mind saying this negatively about Kirkman, I hate how he does his collections. I hate the fact that he doesn't have the covers separating the issues. It drives me up the wall. If I ever meet him, I'll tell him this to his face, because it is a bad way to collect comics. I don't understand it at all. And I think the argument I've heard him say or other people is like, well, I wanted to read in a collection like a novel. But novels have chapter breaks, buddy. Okay. So novels aren't just a whole book of no chapter breaks. And secondly, you wrote this in the format of single issues. The story and the pacing is written as single issues. So, and you, Kirkman, who is famous for cliffhangers and twists and whatnot, you eliminate that whole thing, your number one writing tool, you eliminate it by not having any sort of chapter breaks with cliffhangers. You just blends into the next issue. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. So if he does it the same thing on this one, I'll be very critical of it.
That's the
Sorry,
weird thing that
I'm in a ranty mood today, guys.
I was gonna say that's the weird thing that I've noticed when people have brought it up is that, like, on the one hand, it definitely seems to be a Skybound thing primarily, but for some reason, Invincible seems to be the exception in my experience. Like, I don't know about the other collections, but like the Invincible compendiums have the paperback ones have issue breaks, but like
I have heard that.
like Walking Dead doesn't has volume breaks, so I don't know why Invincible you put them back in for that.
Right, I have heard that. So I don't know if it lives for every format of Invincible, but I'm going to read it in whatever format digitally on Hoopla that has the chapter breaks in it because it drives me nuts. Firepower didn't do it. Walking Dead, I read it in the hardcovers, the OHCs, and that didn't have chapter breaks. And you're right, Skybound, it's a Skybound thing, which is Kirkman's imprint. And Kirkman, for whatever reason, doesn't want any of his books with Skybound to have these chapter breaks. I don't understand it. It's a bad reading experience.
And that, folks, is the Invincible Omnibus Volume 1.
Anyway.
And yes, Robert Kirkman, because he is the president and owner or governor, whatever you want to call it, of Skybound, does actually have those mandates in for.
Yeah, and anything with Image, the creator has to front the money for, and they're in charge of how it's collected and everything. So anything with Image, the creator is definitely in charge of how it's formatted. With Marvel and DC, it's much more how involved that creator is with the company at the time or how involved in the project they are. Like, I know Jonathan Hickman has a lot of control over how his stuff's collected. He has a kind of a similar way as Kirkman, which drives me nuts, but I'll say that for a different day. But so it depends.
At least the Hickman stuff has chapter breaks in it, even if the covers aren't there.
It has chapter breaks, but the covers aren't there. Thus, because modern day, you sent me on this right now, I wasn't going to say it, but modern day comics have the credits on the front cover of the issue. They don't have it on the inside like classic comics. I don't know why. So when you eliminate the cover, there's no credits for the issue. So I have no idea who's drawing whatever issue I'm reading of Hickman without going back to the table of contents, which isn't very thorough and good anyways. I'm a nag for book design and how books are formatted and things, so I apologize. Let's get on to a positive thing like Saga Deluxe Volume 4, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah, this book has not come, like, this book has been in the reworks. Obviously, we had Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples come back to the world of Saga a couple of years ago, and now we finally have Volume 4, which is coming out on the 15th of April. It's $49.99, 504 pages, and this collects 55 through 72.
And this has been great. It's great stuff. So this is after the long hiatus. So the first 3 volumes were the first 54 issues. And then Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan famously took a huge hiatus. But then they're back. And I've read these singles issues. They're amazing. It's still as good as it was ever before. No, it won't be that long. Come on. They're taking breaks here and there, but we won't have to wait that long. But it's still great. I've heard people say that they're like, it's not as good as it was. I think it's because most people that have read Saga have probably read it in collected editions, so you're like binge reading a lot of issues. I think in single issues, it doesn't read. You don't get like as much of a chunk of like meat to chew on for every single issue as you do in a binge read of Saga. But I think it's as great as ever, and I think in this format, it'll read just as good. Mm-hmm. Very excited about this.
Could Taylor clarify what he means when he says Image creators front the money for their books? Production costs are mostly covered by Image as it advances in sales, basically, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know the logistics of it, but I know that creators have said that they have to, there's some sort of system where they front the money, I guess, and then Image pays them back on the back end or something like that. Like they have to, basically, if they want the project to be made in a certain format, they have to be willing to put their money up, and then Image will pay them back on the back end a certain amount to cover that or something. I don't know.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Do you have more details on it?
Yeah, I talked with Kieran Gillen about this a couple of months ago because I asked him specifically in the possible reprint of the Once and Future hardcovers that are very much out of print. And he said that the only way that they would be reprinted is if he hands out some amount of cash to Image for them to reprint those hardcovers. And if he doesn't front that cash, nobody's going to reprint them.
So there you go.
So
I've heard that from a number of different creators.
Yeah.
It's a way for Image to not lose their hat, and because Image itself is not like a huge moneymaker. It's just a title. Like it's just like the logo in the title. the creators, it's meant to have the creators make most of the money off the books. Is how it works. I know it's still like a business. It's a very strange publishing format, but it's supposed to be very creator friendly in the sense that Image can't go bankrupt basically because all the money is funneling in from the creator and then out back to the creator.
Indeed. Joe, you picked this up in Compendium. I'm wondering, is that the next time you're going to be picking up Saga now with these hardcovers coming out?
Well, so funnily enough, just by happenstance, I read the first compendium like a few months before it was announced to be coming back, obviously without knowing it was coming back. So I just happened to read it at the right time. And then so I didn't have to wait too long for it to start up again. Right. I picked it up in single issues. And then I think like at first I was enjoying it. And I think like over time, over that sort of like 18 issues or whatever it is, I started to sort of get a bit wary. Like in the most recent arc last year, I did sort of get to the point, especially with even the delays between like individual issues, that I'm like, actually, I can't just wait for a collection or a hardcover or compendium or whatever, because it was after reading such a big chunk in the compendium, it was nice to have the novelty of the single issues for a few years. But actually, I think when it starts up again, I might just have to wait. I mean, maybe I won't help myself, and maybe I'll just keep reading it in singles anyway. But we'll see.
There we go. So there we go, everybody. Saga Volume 4 for the deluxe waiters. It is going to be out on the 15th of April. If you are a big Saga fan, I would definitely suggest picking it up, because that is years of a gap before we have gotten issues. No gaps here, though. We do have the Amazing Spider-Man by Steve Ditko Artist Edition hardcover at $195, 176 pages. This is going to collect Amazing Fantasy 15 as well as the stories in Spidey 20, 26, and 33. Also included are scanned photocopies of Ditko's rarely seen issue number 31 pencil art, along with 20 other issues and more. Here's the main cover. Here is the variant cover.
One of my most anticipated books of 2026. This is a beautiful collection. I can't believe this is even coming out. We have no Steve Ditko artist editions in existence. It's something we've had a bunch of Jack Kirby and stuff, which I love, but never had Steve Ditko. And even better is that we have complete stories in here. Just as Dom said, we have 4 complete issues of original Steve Ditko artwork in here. You can pull this book open and read Amazing Fantasy 15 true to size, because this will be bigger. This will be not 11 by 17 or 12 by 18, I guess, is the typical artist edition size that we get. Like, that's the more universal size. We've had different variations beyond that, but this is done on the old school art paper. So this is going to be, I think, closer to the size of Batman Year One as far as an artist edition goes. So it's going to be massive, because back then in the 50s and early 60s, Marvel Comics and most comic artists drew on paper that was way bigger than 11 by 17. Now most practical artists that don't do digital draw on 11 by 17 paper. So that's what most artist editions tend to be. Back then, though, before they changed like somewhere in the early to mid 60s. But before that, Ditko was still drawing on that paper. So it's going to be a massive book. Like, I think 18 by 24 or something crazy is the size of it. And it's going to be original Steve Ditko artwork. The Amazing Fantasy 15, all those art pages, the original art pages, were donated anonymously to the Smithsonian. So you can go to the Smithsonian. I think it's the Smithsonian. No. The Library of Congress in DC. You can go there and ask them to pull out those pages, and you can actually physically see the 15 or 16 pages or whatever it is for Amazing Fantasy 15 and hold them, like, I don't know, probably not hold them in your hands, but see them in person. If you go there, nobody knows who donated them. Ditko and Stanley both claimed that it wasn't them that donated it. Some people think that it was Ditko. He just doesn't want the fame for it. I don't know. Regardless, every single page is in there. I thought that was great because I got from Abrams Comic Arts, they did the panel by panel Amazing Fantasy 15 and Amazing Spider-Man 1. And it's like in the back, they included all the original art pages for this. And I was like, man, I hope Scott Dunbier gets a hold of these. So I'm excited about this book. I can't wait.
Joe, I think, has still yet to get an artist edition that's in his library.
They're not for everybody. They are certainly gigantic books, but if you're into like comic book art and the history of it, there's such a treasure to have. And Scott Dunbier does the amazing work. I've yet to pick up any of. I don't think he's even officially released anything for Act 4. I don't think anything's made it to the racks yet, but I'm excited for all those projects that he's working on.
This one's definitely tempting just because of the caliber of it.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
It'll be a huge book, but beautiful.
Yeah.
Which cover are you getting though?
I don't know. I mean, probably that one, the first one, because that's like from
it has to be.
Yeah, it's from issue 33, which is like one of his most famous issues. The other one's from I think it's a pinup from an annual, which is great too. It has the floating heads, which was an iconic signature of Ditko's. If you guys remember the famous like corner boxes that Marvel had at the top left corner of their issues, Steve Ditko innovated that. Like that was his idea for those corner boxes. That's kind of what those floating heads remind me of. But
Ryan is gonna go to the Library of Congress and take them for his collection.
Hey, good luck.
Dom hates Ditko. Why, Dom? Why? And Badger Stump with the correct answer. Ditko doesn't have enough aura for me.
Wait, is that true?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think it's an inside joke we made because I foolishly tried to defend the Bayformer films for Transformers because I grew up with them.
Yeah.
And then I guess somewhere in the conversation, Ditko came in and we're like, no, Dom likes Michael Bay more than Steve Ditko, which is absolutely not true. But, what stays on the internet, I guess stays on the internet.
I'm confused.
I am too.
You started talking about Michael Bay Transformers. I was like, how's that tied into Steve Ditko? But
I think because we were also talking about Steve, it was an omnibus that also had art by him. Oh, okay. It just came up naturally. Dom did. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, that's true. Dom didn't see the point. But hey, listen. We're going to move on to the trade paperbacks. The first of which is Volume 2 of Adventure Man, which collects 6 through 9 and Ghost Lights. Although we have had this come out in the magazine form because that is how these issues have released. So, $14.99, 152 pages.
One of those series that I haven't read yet, but I've always meant to for a while now. With that creative team,
yeah, it's a good creative team. Terry Dodson, along with Matt Fraction. So there you go. Moving on, we do have the current book by Jerry Duggan over at Image, which is Falling in Love on the Path to Hell, Volume 2, taking a cue from the Matt Rosenberg incredibly long line of a title at 144 pages at $16.99, collecting issues 5 through 10.
Yeah, it's like the emo song way to title things. I've not read this, but the only interesting thing I'll note is the writer is Jerry Duggan, who people throughout his career famously refer to him as Gary Duggan. Same thing with Jerry Conway. But then he has an artist named Gary Brown, spelled exactly the same except for one letter. That's got to be confusing.
Yeah.
He's probably like, great, now everybody's going to call me Gary Duggan again.
Gary Duggan. Jerry. So there you go. Joe, have you read it yet?
No, I have not. One of those, again, I think it was one of those series I didn't really entirely know what it was about until there was overview of the first trade, but then it was about like, oh, sounds interesting though.
Okay. There you go. That hopefully it will be collected in a deluxe. Fine Print Volume 3 by Stepan Sajic, 208 pages, $19.99.
I love the premise.
Yeah.
Why SCX with gods is not a good idea. Yeah, this is a spicy title, isn't it?
Yeah, just as all Sajic books are. So if you are interested in that, if you're interested
he's carving out a niche of a strong following of fans, that's for sure.
Indeed. Volume 1 of Flavors of Ash, which is a Ghost Pepper book, Volume 1. I did read the first issue of this. This collection collects issues 1 through 5, $16.99, 160 pages. No one can save the world on an empty stomach, which is true. The only reason I read this was because of an art term cover, but I did enjoy the first issue a little bit more than I thought.
Is this a Skybound title?
It is.
I'm only asking because it seems like all Skybound titles are having this variant cover, collected edition thing.
Yeah.
And having a Joe Mad cover, that's pretty sweet.
It is indeed. Yeah, this is it, which is apparently a gloss ultraviolet spot matte lamb variant.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's
and it's
definitely
probably the
got
Joe
energy to
Mad.
it.
Yeah, the Joe Mad connection there through Battle Chasers.
Indeed. If you liked Adriana Lucas's coloring and Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo's Nightwing, he also colors this here. So maybe if you are a Nightwing fan, you will see some of the vibes very similar art-wise. We talked about the littler editions of Invincible. We have volume 13 here, which collects issues 71 through 78, 16.99, 196 pages.
I've said enough about Invincible. The compact compendium does confuse me. I don't know if it's for a completely different market, which would make sense if they're going to say like these thinner compacts are going to be in this market and the compact compendiums are going to be for a different market. But if you're putting them both in the same place, I feel like you're just like cannibalizing your audience. Like, are they going to finish them in this format? I don't know.
We are
Who
up to
knows?
13, so may perhaps.
Yeah, they're about halfway, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like it, actually.
Crazy to think of the 26 or 25, 26 trade paperbacks. Hey, Ryan, if we ever get the license to What I've Done by Linkin Park, we will totally do that here on this channel. Totally.
I watched those Bayformers movies for the first time like a couple of months ago, which was a wild ride.
Wait, does Omar doesn't like those movies, does he?
He hates those movies, but
I was
that's
going to say.
yeah,
So is he going to
I
approve
only
of this?
enjoyed the first few, yeah.
yeah.
He's going to approve of this music choice? He would rather have the Stan Bush, the touch at the end of his videos.
Well, right, but I'm saying like he won't get the license for that song, but if we get the license for What I've Done, we will use that instead. That's the thing.
I would guess the Stan Bush one would probably be cheaper.
Yeah. So you like, yeah, I mean, okay. I didn't say it. You said it, Josh. Flashing on the screen as well as Lego Ninjago Strike of the Serpentine original graphic novel by Cameron Chaddock and Will Morris. $16.99.
This is a jumping on point. So this is a Skybound license that they got. I am curious to read this because I will say I watched the Ninjago series with my son years ago, and it was actually really, really good. Like the story throughout it was way better than I expected. I was not expecting it to be as like thought out as it is. It seems like they're very much influenced by like Shonen Jump type manga, or I guess like anime, like Dragon Ball Z and kind of things. It was really good. So I wonder if this is just as good.
Yeah. The TV show was great. Like
Yeah.
I was a little bit too late for that TV show, but my brother watched it, and I can tell you, I also enjoyed watching it in the living room whenever he was.
Okay, so you have a similar experience. Like you felt like you're too old for it, but you're like, this is actually interesting.
Yeah,
like,
it's really
this
good.
Is pretty good.
Great coming of age story. It's also got 4 amazing characters that they follow. It's got great,
and they all have like distinct personalities and distinct like attributes to them.
Yeah.
And it felt like one of those shows that like a really, really great writer. I don't know who's the creative team on that show, but like a really, really great writer with like their first work. Like, so they're like going guns a blazing. Like, it's not like someone that like Lego is like, hey, do you want to do this? And it's like, oh, it's a paycheck. Let's do it. Like, it's definitely someone that like had a passion for this property.
Yeah. Jump back, kick around, and
there we
spin.
go. Let's get that license.
Let's get that license. Joe, I don't know if you've read this, but this is the Daniel Warren Johnson and Riley Rossmo, Mike Spicer collaboration, which is The Moon is Following Us, the last 5 issues of the series from issues 6 through 10 at 128 pages, coming out on the 17th of December.
Yeah, this series is just fantastic. I highly recommend. I mean, I know that Daniel Warren Johnson will get lots of people's names or eyes onto this rather, but I think Riley Rossmo just also really excels as well because he handles all of the like dreamscape scenes, which means he can get really wild and wacky, and Daniel Warren Johnson gets sort of like the more like grounded and gritty emotion, and it's such a like wild like roller coaster ride. And then it was one of those series where I feel like I've ended up at least like tearing up at most Daniel Warren Johnson books. So it was one of those where like I got to the end and I was okay, and at the last like several pages I was like, oh no, he got me. I teared up. But yeah,
I've not read this yet, but just hearing the things about Daniel Warren Johnson's writing, it makes me afraid that he's going to be one of these great artists that goes into just doing covers and writing, like a Scotty Young. And I'd miss his interiors so much. But to Joe's point, Riley Rosmo is an awesome artist and still has like that same kinetic energy as a Daniel Warren Johnson. Seems like when he's writing, he's always working with an artist that has like that same kind of energy. Like the art styles don't look like the same, but it's just that same energy. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, it's not like that perfectly crisp figure drawing. It's like this kinetic, just like, I don't know.
It's just
energy.
like so unique and stylistic. Like like these days when like so many different like house style artists all like blend together, and I think there's obviously like a place for it. Like I love like Jorge Jimenez and all of that, but when you got someone like Rosmo that just really stands out, it's really special.
You said it better than I could have. Thank you.
I could, and the chat is saying stuff better than I could. And yes, Omar does love Michael Bay. We're going to make that a thing today. And we will be back later live, by the way, guys. We do have a live stream somewhere in the night, so be sure to tell Omar when he gets there. We also do have Private Eye, which is by Brian K. Vaughan and Marcos Martin. I love that creative team. Marcos Martin, one of my favorite Spider-Man artists of all time. $24.99, 300 pages in this side screen format. And if you have not read it,
yeah, this is a reprint. So this was previously released in a hardcover. And I feel like
I need to get this.
It might have had a Kickstarter or something. I feel like it had some different format of releasing back in the day. But yeah, Marcos Martin's art is magnificent, especially in this book. It's really, really great. You just see on the cover, just look at all the different character designs and figures he's drawing in there. Like, really, really great stuff.
Yes, indeed. Have you read it, Joe?
No, but even just like looking at that premise and that team, I really need to get this.
Indeed. And next up on the list, we do have This Ends Tonight. This is actually something that I might be looking into because Jay Lee is drawing it, and I have sorely missed Jay Lee interiors. I don't think he's done much since Batman Superman with Greg Pak, so it's been a long time coming. But Jerry Duggan, Robert Wyndham, and Kelvin Mao are on this book, collecting the 3 issues here. 104 pages at $14.99.
I'm glad to know I'm in the company of a fellow Jay Lee fan. Jay Lee is awesome. I agree. It's great to see him on interiors again. So I'll definitely be picking this up. It is curious that they use the word Sin City in the solicit there.
Yeah.
It seems a little... I know that's the nickname of Vegas in general, but when you're relating to comics, like I feel like there's a... I don't know. Which, by the way, it was announced today. Frank Miller just got a biography coming out.
I saw that.
I can't wait.
Probably will read that at some point. We also got You'll Do Bad Things by Tyler Boss, who's making a name around for himself, and Adriano. Oh, there we go, Joe. Here's the first spot. How do you say this artist's name?
Oh,
Adriano Tortolici.
Okay, Tortolici. There we go. Coming out on the 10th of December, 176 pages, $16.99, collecting all 6 issues.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, this seemed like a cool, interesting premise, and I'm interested to read something written by Tyler Boss. But I haven't got around to this so far.
There you go. Yes, we do need more Joe on the channel, Glenn. I agree. I'll tell upper management.
My friend Glenn.
Hey guys, what's up? Any news on the Ice Cream Man Sunday Edition Volume 3 was supposed to come out this year, I think. I know that it got pushed back because some of the subsequent issues that were collected in the edition got delayed. So it might be a little bit of a time there to wait on that as well.
I'm desperately waiting for that edition. I love Ice Cream Man. I even did a video on my channel this month for my horror content, calling it the best modern horror comic that's come out in the 21st century. I'm at the point where I want to read those issues so badly that I might pick up the trade paperbacks because I'm sick of waiting.
Okay, well there you go.
So much.
There's the recommendation from Taylor. We also got I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer by Doug Wagner and Daniel Hilliard, with another cover by Jay Lee at 144 pages at $19.99, collecting the 5-issue series.
That's a great looking cover. It has some Jamie Hewlett vibes.
Yeah, that series sounded wild, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, Murderous Urges.
It also reminds me like manga, the title.
Like
there's like a manga title.
It feels like one too. We also got the last book of the series, which is Lazarus, Volume 8, of course, by Michael Lark and Greg Rucka at 168 pages, $16.99. This is coming out on the 24th of December, collecting the first 6 issues of Lazarus the Fallen.
The first story arc of the final. Okay, so there's going to be more after this, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I still need to pick. Now that you mention it, I still need to pick up Volume 4 of the Lazarus hardcovers. Just realized I'll get them at some point.
To be honest, that seems like one of those series where it's like I haven't got to it so far. I might as well just wait until it's fully finished now, rather than trying to catch up now.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do a big compendium format for whenever they figure out how to map it. Whenever they figure out when he's done, whether it's going to be like one compendium or 2.
Or omnibuses, who knows? But if you're interested in picking up Lazarus Volume 8 and you live in Canada, be sure to check out our sponsors over at BD Cosmos, the Canadian leader in graphic novels, with of course, a storefront in Montreal, Quebec. 25% off your order of $100 or more, and free shipping everywhere in Canada at $250 or more. It'll stay cozy through the upcoming Canadian winter, although we are currently in autumn right now, at least in the northern hemisphere. Be sure to tell them that we sent you, and you will be entered into a monthly gift card raffle for both new and returning customers. Again, just let them know that we sent you. BD Cosmos, the Canadian leader of comic novels in Canada. And that brings us to the end of Lazarus and also Image Comics, and we will now be going over to Dark Horse, where they do have a couple of big books on the way as well. The first one of which is Elf Quest, the Final Quest hardcover by the Peonies at $69.99, collecting the Final Quest volumes 1 through 4.
Oh, it's one of those. But is this? I wish Josh is in the chat, isn't he?
Yeah, he is in the chat. Ed, what do you mean becoming? What, he's getting better? I've been here for like the last 1.5 years now. I need my. But anyways, go ahead.
Well, I'm so confused because I haven't read Elf Quest. I'm so confused by these formats and what's coming out. Like, is this like the last series, and this is not the color editions? I'm assuming.
I actually don't know.
It seems to be like the last of the actual black and white collections, maybe. For the first time in a single stunning full color hardcover. Okay, it's full color. I don't know. I'm very confused by this format. Because remember, we've had this conversation about these hardcovers they're coming out with that are like slim, and we've talked about how there's gonna be like 30 volumes because they're all pumping them out so slowly. But this is a 600 pager. I don't know. Maybe they're pulling a Kirkman and they want to go every format possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is we've got a full color, and they also have like, black and white sets of these. And Harvey, please do not lie to the people listening to the stream. I've had a billion grilled cheese sandwiches before. Now, if you want to tell me I've never had a PB&J before, sure, I will accept that. I love grilled cheese sandwiches, and you will never take that away from me.
You haven't eaten peanut butter and jelly?
Okay, moving on to the next book.
You can't just move on from that. Hold on a second.
What do you mean? No, I've never had a PB&J. I don't know if I ever will have a PB&J.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just interesting. I know you're... How long have you lived in America, though? Were you born in America?
I was not born in America.
Okay, but when did you move here?
I moved here when I was 3 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, it took me like 6 years to like actually start fully eating American food, if you want to even call it that. So, I think you have a good excuse. Yeah. But you should try it. I will maybe at some point. Somebody make one for me. Okay. I know this is the big one that people have been waiting for a billion years. We had a standard size hardcover of this come out, and it go in like the snap of a finger. And Dark Horse said, well, we're going to be doing a deluxe edition in the meanstead. This is the Helen of Windhorn deluxe edition of $59.99, 184 pages with the amazing art of Bilquis Evely and the amazing colors by Matt Lopez, who also colors Chris Somney's DC work. This is going to collect the 6-issue series, along with a sketchbook session and bonus art from Walt Simonson, Greg Smallwood, Clay Mann, Elsa Charretier, Tula Lote, Massimo Carnival, Fabio Moon, and Jill Thompson.
I will say that the cover is gorgeous, and it seems very like suitable for a deluxe edition of this story that's been so heralded. Oh, it's in a slipcase even.
Yeah.
So that's
Joe
I'm
is-
different.
so excited for this.
Joe is
So that's
definitely
different.
Yeah,
Interesting. But see, wait, this is
been
Dark
holding
Horse,
out
right?
for
Yeah.
a bigger deluxe edition.
Okay, so Dark
Yeah,
Horse.
it's interesting. It's called a deluxe edition, I suppose, instead of a library.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because of slipcase. Because excuse me, didn't they call
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
Sin City deluxe editions
Yeah.
when they're in the slipcases?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess to Dark Horse, deluxe edition means slipcase edition.
Right. Library is just the book, and that's it.
Yeah, and their
Right. Yeah.
their omnibuses are paperback, small like standard size paperbacks.
Also, James, it's impossible to take 25 years to eat a chocolate chip cookie if you haven't been on this earth for 25 years. So, no, I do not hate peanut butter. Peanut butter is a staple of a decent amount of Filipino foods. I do not like jelly. Jelly is one of my least favorite ingredients on this planet.
Have you tried all the jellies?
I've tried jelly donuts and I actually puked after eating one of them. So
jelly
yes.
donuts are great. We have strawberry jelly, we have blueberry jelly, we have grape jelly, we have blackberry jelly.
Not for me.
Jams, even if you want to go into that.
Oh my goodness. Well, there you go, guys. Helen of Windhorn, peanut butter and jelly sandwich not included at $59.99. There is no Safeway coupon for that.
Oh, this one I am stoked for.
Library
Yes,
edition
this-
of Minor Threats, Volume 1.
This series
$49.99.
is so fun. I've read both volumes collected here, and it's just such an awesome series. The first one is more like sort of Silver Agey homage, like pop art superhero kind of thing, and then the second one's more like crime orientated, which is a fun twist. So this should be quite like a nice 1-2 punch in the library edition, especially with the oversized artwork.
And the alternates is in this universe too, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah. There's been quite a few spin-off series.
The Barfly one that Kyle Starks is writing.
Yeah.
Right? So this kind of reminds me of like Black Hammer in the sense that it's Dark Horse and they're releasing this library edition. So I'm hoping that that's the case for all these spin-offs that Joe's alluding to. Unlike Joe, though, I've not read this. But why I'm so stoked about it is because I've been wanting to read this. Everything about this just screams like this is a Taylor comic. The crazy over-the-top coloring, the awesome title lettering is great. Patton Oswalt, I'm a big fan of him as a comedian and comic book fan. It seems like every time he talks about a comic book, it's a comic book I enjoy as well. So, and I love that it's like this new superhero universe. I kind of like these superhero takes from other publishers. And even like the Barfly character looks awesome too. Like the character designs look great. I'm so excited that they're doing a library edition. So this is how I'm going to pick up Minor Threats in this format then.
So I was going to do it. And you can also send your Minor Threats and PB&J sandwiches to Near Mint Condition, which is their P.O. Box.
Someone please send a peanut butter jelly sandwich to Omar.
Please do.
And
PB and Bay. Oh gosh. Why would you make that, Matt? Oh my goodness.
And just say like forward this to Dom in it. So then Omar has to send it to Dom.
Exactly. See, there you go. PB&J to one and then the other one. So that's how the system works.
Just send Omar a PB&J sandwich with like all of Michael Bay's Transformers on DVD on that side.
Oh, that's a war crime.
Oh, here's another book I'm excited about.
There we go. The Nobody by Jeff Lemire, $29.99, 144 pages. It is a standard size hardcover, but experience the reimagining of the Invisible Man in this long out of print fan favorite graphic novel with a new cover.
Yeah, this is one of his earliest works. It's not his earliest work, but I think it's like his second graphic novel he ever came out with. But it's great stuff, and it's exactly as the description describes. It's Jeff Lemire taking the Invisible Man and putting him into a Jeff Lemire universe, which is like that rural farm area of Canada that he's famous for, like Essex County and all his other stories, Roughneck. It's really good stuff though, and it's Jeff Lemire artwork as well, which I enjoy. But it is an earlier story. So if you're a big Jeff Lemire fan, or if you're a Jeff Lemire completist, this is something you want on your shelf. Only previously released as a trade paperback. So first time in hardcover.
Yeah, one of those Lemire books I haven't ever read. So
I'm trying to remember what his first book was. It was something to do with the sea, or Old Dogs.
Old Dogs.
Old Dogs is what it's called. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Nobody.
It's a reimagining of the Invisible Man. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but in
That's
like
cool.
a Jeff Lemire type universe.
Yeah.
There you go. For all of the parents out there, we do have volume 25 of Plants vs. Zombies, $12.99, coming out on the 3rd of February. And if you are a big fan of the game, that is an interesting mecha dog. I don't know how you call it.
These are really fun books. My son loves these quite a bit.
There you go.
Definitely pick them up for your kids if they're into Plants vs. Zombies and you want them to read a book and get away from the screen for a little bit.
Yes, sir. Moving on, we do have Ori Tupka and the Gods. Another story from Lands Unknown by the legendary man himself, Mike Mignola, with colorist Dave Stewart and letterer Clem Robbins, coming out on the 24th of February.
Cool.
Is this a new?
It's a new thing, but it's set in the same universe as Bowling with Corpses.
Which is not in the same universe as Hellboy, as I understand.
Yes.
Interesting.
No, I haven't read.
Mike Mignola is on Interiors, which is amazing.
Yeah.
We don't see that too often anymore, but he's created a new universe, Lands Unknown. That's curious. Why wouldn't he just keep expanding Hellboy? Because I know he has the other universe that has like what's it? Drawing a blank now. The Christopher Golden writes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just can't.
Not Baltimore or Baltimore. Yeah, it's Baltimore and
yeah.
Joe Golem. Blanking on what the name of the universe is, but that's separate from Hellboy as well.
Yes, indeed. Moving on to the trade paperbacks, we do have a Barbed Wire Compendium, John Arcudi, Chris Warner, Pat Olive, $39.99, 648 pages, collecting Comics Greatest World, Steel Harbor Week 1, Week 2, Week 3, and Week 4, along with Motorhead Barbed Wire issues 1 through 9, San Diego Comic-Con Comics number 3, Barbed Wire No Fear, Barbed Wire Ace of Spades, Barbed Wire Volume 2, issues 1 through 8, along with the movie adaptation of the comic as well, for the comic as well, with a cover, of course, by Adam Hughes.
I've not read these. I am familiar with the Barbed Wire movie, the Pam Anderson movie from the 90s. And I know that Dark Horse has previously released these comics. These are 90s comics. But the names, so I have almost zero interest to read this comic, except for the creative team. Chris Warner, I think, is one of the most underrated comic book artists ever. Like, he did a lot of Dark Horse stuff early on, and he was so good. John Arcudi is a great art writer as well. So those two names makes me curious. Not saying I'll pick this up, but makes me curious.
I'm going to say, yeah, I've never heard of this, but I love that sentence where she puts the Drop Dead in Drop Dead Gorgeous.
Oh, it's totally like...
Oh, dear.
It leans heavy into the TNA and it's the bad girl era of the 90s comics where the girls were... The idea was to... I don't know how to say this on a morning show. They were to make attractive girls look even more salacious for men during that era of the 90s. I think it's the nicest way I could say it, but it was definitely one of those titles.
And with that, we are moving on to the next book, which is Bernie Wrightson Creepy Presents. And Harvey Peaker is going to ask, everyone wants to know, has Dom read The Invisibles and The Filth yet? Well, Jess and I are doing a video on which Morrison books are readable and unreadable, and you will have to find out there. Look at that. I can segue.
Is that like Batter Days you're doing that?
It's not a Batter Days. It's like a completely separate thing.
Is it pre-recorded?
It's going to be pre-recorded, yeah.
I'm very curious about this video. I have lots of thoughts on that exact subject, but I think my opinion would probably be different than your guys's.
I think so too.
I think most every Morrison's readable, and you don't have to be on drugs to make it readable. But back to creepy. This is
Bernie Wrightson.
Bernie Wrightson, one of the all-time great horror artists, up there in the top 5 for sure. This is collecting all of his stuff from Creepy and Eerie magazine. This has been previously released as a hardcover. This is now a trade paperback. I think it will be. Trying to look at the trim size. Yeah, I think it'll be magazine format still.
Yep.
Which is
Still
what
magazine
the
format.
which are what the Creepy and Eerie magazines. They were magazines, so they're in that format. I have some somewhere around here. So, and this was previously released. They also did a like best of Alex Toth, best of Steve Ditko, and best of Richard Corbin collections. The same. So I'm assuming they're going to re-release all those in paperback as well. And we've been seeing the Creepy and Eerie archives, which I'm almost caught up on them. I'm only missing 3 volumes of Creepy, volumes 3, 4, and 5 of Creepy magazine archives, and I'll be caught up on all of them. But that's the way I'm going about buying them. So I'll have all the Bernie Wrights and stuff in those. But if you're wanting just like one great collection of Creepy and Eerie magazine to represent those great horror mags on your shelf, I recommend this one for sure because Bernie Wrightson was a master at horror comics.
Yeah, I'll have to get this.
It's the first complete collection, and it should not be a no to you guys. If you got $25 to spare, you want something October, even though I know it's coming out in February of next year, but better late than never. We also do have Cyberpunk Edge Runners Madness, Volume 1 by Bartos. Actually, no, I'm going to let Joe, our pronunciating guide, say it.
Bartos. Tybor. There's so many consonants.
And Asano for the illustrations, $14.99. This is a digest size. It looks very cutesier than a typical cyberpunk book. But anyways, this is also known for the manga adaptation for Studio Trigger's Being a Brand New Animal. This is the prequel to the anime series as well. So if you are going to be watching that anime series,
has it come out yet?
Not yet. I don't believe.
I'm so curious about everything to do with the Cyberpunk video game, except for the video game itself. And that's just because I don't play video games. But
Okay.
I'm going to read the comics, anime, like because I love anything to do with cyberpunk, that genre, and the aesthetics of the game and everything looks cool. I just don't have time to play video games.
That's more than fair. Moving on, we got Eerie Archives Volume 13, which is a double-sized volume, $34.99, 608 pages. Eerie Magazine 70 through 78, 80, and content from issue number 79 not collected in previous Eerie Archives.
So they've now, since volume 11, so the first 10 volumes were just exactly mirroring the exact contents of the first 10 hardcover archives. Starting with volume 11, they're doing double-sized volumes. But you're still getting a better deal on them because those were $24.99 were the single volumes. Now they've doubled it, but the price only went up $10. So for $34.99, you're getting 600 pages of some of the best horror comics you'll ever read. And you don't need you can start with any volume. You don't have to, they're all one and done stories. Eerie would have some ongoing stories here and there. So I guess that one you might want to be careful with, but for the most part, they're all one and done stories. And I kind of like that they're going double sized with these because they're going to pump them out even faster. So very much we'll be picking this up.
There's a cosign on Taylor. We also do have another. This time we got a paperback version. Of the Burst Omnibus for Gunsmith Cats Volume 1. Actually, it's fully solicited and printed in at $29.99, 484 pages. This is the unflopped version of the manga, so it reads from right to left, collecting chapters 1 through 22 of Gunsmith Cats. Burst. This is a Josh book, I think.
Definitely.
Dom, is a hardcover coming out? This is the one that has been pushed for months, but they have not said anything of that.
No, I don't think we have any announcements on that.
We do have a paperback for, I think most people. Paperback is just fine for that book. Huck Volume 2, Big Bad World by Raphael Albuquerque and Dave McCaig on art. This is part of the Millar World Thingamabob, collecting issues 1 through 6. I've read the first Huck, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I've never read the new series, though.
Yeah, I've not read this. It looks cool, though.
Yeah, if you like the first series, you will like the second, is my take on it. $19.99, 168 pages. The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Chris Chaos, Volume 3. Of course, Tate Bromble and Isaac Goodhart. Love a good hard's art. Collecting issues 1 through 4 of Children of the Night.
I haven't read
Oh.
this series in particular, but I absolutely loved the first 15 issues and the Halloween special before it got relaunched. It's just such a great fun, like, Universal Monsters, but it's like queer teens that sort of both the examination of like monsterhood and sort of queerness and otherness and all of that, like as it sort of talks a bit about in the solicit. It's just a lot of fun. So I'm excited to catch up on this.
I have to put this. I have not heard of this book. I love Tate Brownbell though; he's a great writer. And the premise, with Joe's pitch there, and the premise here of coming of age series, Invincible meets Doom Patrol. Anything to do with Doom Patrol, if you put that, that's definitely a trigger for me to want to be curious. This is the third. So was there a series before this, Joe, or is this just the third volume and it'll be good? All 3 volumes.
Yeah, so there was like 15 issues beforehand.
Before volume
Halloween
1?
Special. No, in volumes 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
And then it was renumbered. As
Gotcha.
Children of the Night 1 through 4, and then now collected in volume 3.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to write that down and pick that up either digitally or something. That sounds awesome.
Look at that.
I don't know if it's come up in the solicitors yet, but I think at one point recently they announced like a library edition of the first series. So that's pretty cool as well.
All the more reason to try it digitally, and then I'll pick up a library edition if I like it.
Yeah, might be time to jump on the Bromble wagon. I love Isaac Goodhart. He did art for a Catwoman graphic novel for young adults, and I loved it. So
Tate Brownbell's
so charming.
He's had an interesting career. He started off as like Jeff Lemire was kind of his mentor, and Tate Brownbell's a big fan of Black Hammer. I think Tate Brownbell wrote the first like encyclopedia for Black Hammer, which was like a single issue comic. And then he ended up writing the Barbalian series, which was amazing. One of the best things of Black Hammer was that Barbalian series that Tate Brownbell wrote. And then now it seems like he's kind of, I don't want to say latching on, but working with James Tynion. So Jeff Lemire and James Tynion, I mean, you could 2 great writers to be linked to.
And Bromble is also currently writing Cassandra Cain's ongoing series over at DC. So he big. And Green Lantern Dark 2. We got Hyperspace Stories for Star Wars, Codebreaker, Ethan Sachs, Jose Marzan Jr., and Mark Yarza, 1999, 104 pages, collecting issues 1 through 4 of Hyperspace Stories, Codebreaker.
Cool.
And that takes us to the end of the Dark Horse section of our segment. And Joe, if you may, please tell us where we can get Star Wars Hyperspace Stories and The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos in Europe.
So if you live in Europe and are interested in buying and pre-ordering on these, then you should definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC big books. Within the EU, flat shipping rate of €12 for all EU countries, bulletproof packaging, and all emails will be answered within 24 hours. They also offer a superb selection of new titles and out-of-print books. Just head over to waltzcomicshop.com for more great deals and more. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for comics and collected editions in Europe. Ting!
Yes! He did the ting! And that takes us to the end of Dark Horse. And moving on to Boom Studios, where we only have 1 hardcover this month, which is Lumberjanes, Book 3. 29.99, 336 pages, collecting issues 25 to 36 of Lumberjanes.
And these are the same style and things with the Kickstarter, right?
Yeah.
They're just releasing them individually now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another one of those I've never read, but it seems like something I would enjoy.
I need to read it because I think my son would enjoy it. And I told him about it, and he's in the age where if I tell him to read anything because it sounds cool to me, then he's gonna be like, it's lame because my dad likes it. So I need to read it to see if it's something he'd really dig. But I feel like it's up his alley.
People like Lumberjanes, so yeah, must buy. That is an error. Let me see if I can refresh to get the image. We do
Oh,
have the last boy, Dan Panasian, doing writing duties. I know that he's been doing a lot of covers for a lot of different companies, and he also has a Marvel Knights Punisher book that came out this week, if I'm also not mistaken. But we do have the last boy here with Alessio Avallone on the illustrations at $17.99, 144 pages, collecting the 5-issue series.
is that how you pronounce his name?
I have no idea, actually.
Oh, okay. I just know. I know you meet a lot of creators and stuff. I didn't know if I've been saying his name wrong all this time. I've always heard it Panosian.
That sounds more appropriate. But
okay.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot there. I thought, again, you're in the know usually, so I didn't know if I've been saying his name wrong this whole time.
Well, Joe is our
yeah.
Joe,
sorry. I should have asked Joe. Joe, how do you pronounce it?
I always just thought. I mean, maybe because it's what I've had as Panosian.
Yeah.
But this seems like a like Hook, like the Spielberg movie.
Yeah.
Seems kind of like that, but in a comic book form. I'm sure it veers off into different ranges, but it's that Peter Pan in a different kind of tinge. Very curious though. Looks good.
With notes, well, maybe the Tinkerbell in it, but yeah, the last boys here. You were interested in Peter Pan, if you're a big Disney fan, check it out. We also have book 3 of Lumberjanes in trade paperback for $19.99, if that's what you're interested in. Something is Killing the Children, volume number 9, James Tynion IV and Weatherdale Era, $17.99, 144 pages, collecting issues 41 through 45.
I haven't read this series in like a year or two, maybe. Because at one point I just decided to stop reading it monthly and wait for the collections, but interested to see where it's at some point.
I did read a interesting fact or rumor that Tynion pitched this to DC for Vertigo before he took it over to Boom, and DC turned it down.
I think it was just also partly because Vertigo was on its last legs before they switched it to Black Label.
But imagine if they had accepted it. This series is so popular and such a big thing for Boom Studios right now. Would it have kept Vertigo? I don't know what the timeline was on that. Like you said, it was on its way out, but had it hit it in Vertigo and kind of took off, would they have kept the name? I don't know. But now Tynion's back with Vertigo apparently, and Vertigo's coming back, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we got a panel on Thursday. It's coming up soon.
Oh, yeah.
We also got Uncanny Valley, Volume 2, Tony Fleeks, Dave Walker, issue 6 through 10 collected here.
Yeah, another one that's fun, but I haven't got around to yet. I know Tony Fleece has written some fun stuff, and that art looks cool, the cartoony.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, friend of the channel, Tony Fleece.
Yeah, friend of the channel indeed. We also do have one that I actually might pick up, and I keep saying that for some books, but this particular case just because of the genre of the war, by Garth Ennis and Becky Cloonan, issues 1 through 3, collected in this, coming out on the 24th of February, $17.99, 112 pages. You put Garth Ennis on a war book, and I will probably be there to buy it.
Same. I'm not. He's hit or miss for me, Garth Ennis usually, but if he's on a war comic, it's totally a hit for me. Becky Cloonan on artwork too. Sign me up. Yeah. But this is it's not exactly a war comic because it's a post-apocalyptic, post-nuclear war type war comic, which is fine. But it's not exactly like when we say Garth Ennis on war comics, it's typically like a historical count,
right?
Previous war,
somewhere in Italy, somewhere in Vietnam, something like that.
But still, I'm all in for this. This sounds great.
Okay. So yes, we do have that, and that is the end of Boom Studios. And before I guess we move.
Sorry, is that Garth Ennis's first time working with Boom?
I believe he's had some books for them before.
Okay.
Yeah. Matt is asking, wait, why is that? Anyways, what helps you guys decide which non-big 2 books to buy read most? A writer, artist you already like, a story that sounds interesting. Thanks in advance for the question. Answer.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. I'd say the majority of my reading, especially modern reading, I don't keep up with a lot of modern Big Two stuff. I read most of the classic stuff from Big Two, but so most of my reading is non-Big Two, and it'll either be a writer or artist that I already like. That's an obvious buy for me. Story that sounds interesting for me, it's normally the artwork that looks interesting that'll catch my eye. I'm more of the art of it is more important to me than the story. So if I see some really cool artwork that looks different or unique or stands out on a book that haven't ever heard of or not familiar with the creative team, that'll definitely be something that I'll pick up. Reviews, if there's an indie book that gets like a lot of hype from people that I trust, then that'll definitely pique my interest. So kind of all of the above, I guess.
Mm.
Joe, how about you?
Yeah, it's definitely like there've been plenty of books where I've like really enjoyed their like Marvel and DC work, and I've gone to read their like creator own stuff, or but so many others that I've just seen that like the premise has been like really cool, and it's someone like I hadn't necessarily have heard of, or like from word of mouth, and I've sort of discovered like a new creator from that, which then in turn I will follow to all of their other work. So yeah, it really depends.
For me, it's actually just typically the pitch. If the pitch sounds interesting, I'll probably buy it. I mean, particularly because a lot of these, smaller books just don't grab as much attention, like I know what typically will come out from Marvel or DC. If it's creator owned, it typically is, you have to sell me on it. And if the selling point sounds decent enough, I'll buy it. The second way that I do it is actually just through word of mouth. Like if Joe says it's good, I'll read it. Taylor says it's good, I'll probably also read it. So I think the system that I have where I know people who read these things maybe for a living. Like if they like it, okay, I'll trust their word on it and move on forward. The third one is simple. Like if it's a creative team that I know has worked on a book before, I'll probably be there. So I think those would be my my top three reasons. And apparently Uncanny Valley is very good according to Sir James Abel. But yeah, we'll move on to IDW, which there isn't much here. I saw Dan saying in the chat that just not much relatively. We had the big ones from Image and Dark Horse, and they're kind of slowing down. We do have the Eastman covers from 2019 to 24 in a hardcover. In an 8 by 12.5 collection at $39.99.
So they've been coming out with these because Eastman would do variant covers for the entire 150 issue run of TMNT that IDW did. Excuse me. So this seems to be the last of it, and it'll include all the covers he did for Last Ronin. So they're really cool art books, and Kevin Eastman's a great artist. I'm a big fan of him. He has a really great, unique style unto his own, and obviously co-created the Turtles. So, a really cool art book. I don't know if I'll pick it up though, because shelf space, and I don't know, but it seems like a really
guys.
cool if I find it for a good deal, I might pick it up, but that'll be like the caveat, I guess.
There you go.
Shelf space is at a premium, right, Dom?
It is a premium because
Matt H, don't make a little picture of me burning Kevin Eastman. I'm a big fan of him. Robert Kirkman comics, by all means, make those pictures all you want, but not Kevin Eastman.
Moving on to the trade paperbacks, we got Cosmic Cadets Book 2, which is Accused, $14.99, 156 pages. Yeah, I don't know. Never heard of it before, but it's cute enough. Yeah. Book 7 and then Ultimate Collection Volume 7 of TMNT. Of course, these are the trade paperback versions of the larger Ultimate Collections.
These are like the black and white era. Well, I guess there's probably color in this, but the original era of Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird Turtles comics. They previously released this exact volume in a hardcover, which I still need to pick up. But there's no comics in here. I think this is all just like process art and sketches and pencils and inks and kind of stuff, which is still interesting. Cool. Those Ultimate Collections, which I have a video on my channel, I think it's my most viewed video, actually, showing out the first 6 volumes. It has so much good like back matter and story and behind the scenes info in those books. I still need to pick up the hardcover of this. I know it's already out of print. I just need to find a copy for it. I know where one is. It's just I don't know if I want to pay cover price for it, and I don't want to tell anybody where it is. But I don't want to be stuck with the paperback version with all my other hardcovers. So I still need to pick this up.
So what Taylor is saying, if you want it hidden in a bunker, go ahead and get it because it's got great back matter, and that great back matter will look really good in an underground bunker stored within the deep depths of the mantle of this planet.
Yes.
So there you go. Well, Josh, I think I've said this before, but if you can make a day 48 hours instead of 24, I will happily watch One Piece. Unfortunately, we don't live on Mars, so that's implausible.
Don't watch it. I'd read it if you're going to do anything.
Yeah, see. My brother he started collecting the manga.
The anime they've made it's like over 1,000 episodes now. Like who has time for that?
My brother apparently over the summer.
Especially if you haven't watched, like if you've been watching from the beginning, I can see like you parsing that out over the years. But if you're trying to tell Dom, hey, watch this show, it's over 1,000 episodes. Again, Dom, he said he'll watch and read things based on pitches. That's not a good pitch.
Yeah.
There's 1,000 episodes, Dom. Do you have time for that?
Nope.
Which I know the manga is like over 100 volumes at this point, but I feel like reading the manga you'd probably get through faster than watching the series. But maybe that's
I would, but it's also not a good pitch because I also have a billion other things to read. So
well, I know. I'm just saying if you were to carve out time for it.
Now, could we suggest Joe to watch or read the manga? It's a question.
Has Joe read any manga? Is he a manga reader?
I've read some manga.
Okay.
That's
definitely a huge commitment though. One Piece in particular.
Feels like you have to wed yourself to the game before you get into it.
Yeah.
Before we get on, I do want to tell the folks I am reading Spy X Family at the moment as like a fun reading. I am very much enjoying it, but we'll move on to Titan. The first of which are, of course, the omnibuses. As you may know, they are pumping these out like crazy. Gotten a couple. I have really liked all these original Conan stuff. I am enjoying more ways than one, and we're gonna move on first to the Solomon Kane, the original comics omnibus volume 1, $125, coming out on the 3rd of December. I also am getting a review copy, I believe, from Titan, so I guess expect something from me soon. But it is collecting Marvel Premiere 33 to 34, Sword of Solomon Kane 1 through 6, and material from Conan Saga 50, Dracula Lives 3, Cullen the Barbarians 2 through 3, Marvel Preview number 19, Monsters Unleashed 1, and a plethora of Savage Sword of Conan issues.
So this was previously released by Marvel, right? This volume?
Yes. Wait, has it? No, I don't believe they've ever come out with a Solomon Kane collection.
No, they did. They came out with one omnibus.
I'm going to look that
I'm 98% sure they came out with one. But this is volume 1 on it, so I think that whatever volume 2 would be, Marvel came out with.
They did, but it wasn't numbered. This is the same. No, is it the same material?
I don't know. That's what I also was curious about.
This is the same. So the Marvel one does not have Conan Saga issue number 50, and
okay,
it doesn't have some of the other smaller issues as well. But for the most part, they are the same. So you are 98% correct.
Thank you. But it does have a volume 1 on there, so we never got a volume 2, and it seems like potentially Titan will release that.
Yeah.
And then King Conan, the next one, I think Marvel only released one volume of that as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now we already had volume 2, and now we're getting volume 3 that are after the Marvel omnibuses.
And this volume has stuff from, I believe, when Christopher Priest was still referred to as Jim Owsley. Back in the day, yeah. So $150, yeah. $150 collecting Marvel Graphic Novel 42 and Conan the King issues 36 through 55.
And then we have Savage Sword, which is the black and white magazine. And the one that interests me the most. Have you read both the Marvel era and the Savage Sword magazine era?
I'm reading through the Savage Sword of Conan omnis right now that they sent over, and I am really, really enjoying them. Like they're loads of fun. I just love seeing like the sort of like unfiltered, unabashed. We're not gonna, bother like placing in like all the red and all the blues and
Yeah.
all that stuff. And it's just a completely different experience that I've never had in terms of experiencing like in a comic book realm or comic book world.
You're
Like
referring to like the black and white artwork.
Yeah, all black and white.
Yeah.
It's quite fun. Yeah.
I know Omar sent you over some of those Creepy and Eerie magazine archives. Have you read any of those?
I have read a couple of them over the summer, and I also did enjoy them a lot.
Because that's kind of
the
same vibe. It's those black and white magazines of that era.
Yeah.
This is one that interests me the most. I've read some of the early Barry Windsor Smith, John Buscema era Marvel Comics single issues that they came out via the Epic collections from back in the day. Back in the day, like 2 years ago. But it seems like so long ago. But Savage Sword's the one that interests me the most because it is a little bit more mature, and I love the black and white artwork. So would you say you prefer the Savage Sword over the Marvel colored era?
Oh man, it's really hard because I also am reading through. I have Conan Omni Volume 6, and I also really do enjoy the adventures, like the one-off adventures.
Have you read volumes 1 through 5?
I don't have them, so no.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I was like, dang, Dom dove deep into Conan.
It's weird. I never thought I would like
it. A year ago, you never read a Conan comic in your life, and now you're like 10 omnibuses deep.
A couple omnibuses deep. I'm through the Zubra. Well, it's also partly because the people over at Conan are just the most wonderful people that I've talked to. And it's also partly in due to sending over stuff, and also like who would have known? Like Jim Zub Conan is one of my favorite ongoings right now. Like, I can't believe I'm saying it. So, yeah, I am happy to be proven wrong. I was very skeptical going in because I'm not a big fantasy guy, but here I am. I'll send over some of my extra copies to Joe someday.
Yeah, I was going to say, like you, I haven't read much Conan, but I really enjoyed Savage Avengers, as I think I mentioned on the stream before. But yeah, maybe someday. Yeah,
they do have the deluxe version of Conan, which is coming out soon. It's in a library-sized book too, so like it's the same size as the Giant Generator Rick Remender books and the Dark Horse Library editions. And
what issues does that collect?
Just issues 1 through 4, but they have a whole bunch of extras in the back.
What's the cover price?
$29.99.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I do want to read the Jim Zub era. That's one that really piques my interest as well. But I almost want like a big definitive collection.
Mm-hmm.
And they released that, and they've released the box set now with the trade paperbacks, and it's just like I know when it's over they'll probably do omnibuses, but I don't know. I do want to read it though.
Yeah, Jim Zub was on my my friend Sasha from Casualty Comics channel doing an interview, and I think he said there that he's on 50 issues minimum for Conan. Minimum. Wow. So,
which is cool.
That's pretty impressive. Moving on, though, we got the trade paperbacks. We got Stray Volume 1 by Ryu Kamio and Yu Nakahara. $12.99 from the creators of The Last Inning, coming out on the 3rd of December.
I was going to say, unfortunately, with that, I have to dip out, though, but this has been fun, as always, to thank you.
Oh, thank you, Joe, for joining. James or Josh, please send the link below, and do keep out on that Friday interview with Joe, quite coming soon. Thank you, my friend, for joining us, and I hope you have a good one.
See you, Joe.
Thank you. See ya, mate.
All right, Taylor. We got some stuff.
This one and the next one, I think, are manga, right?
Yeah, this one and both. Yeah, the other one are both manga. Or these three are manga. Now we got Ghostly Darkness of Katana, Volume 1, $12.99, 10th of December. And then we also got Saint Seiya Volume 2 by Masami Kuramada at $12.99, coming out on the 17th of December as well.
That sounds like is that like a classic manga? I feel like I've heard that name for years.
I think this one I've heard of. I've never heard of. God, it feels like this.
No, I haven't heard the other two, but Saint Seiya sounds like something that I've heard people talk about for years. Mm-hmm. Josh Greyhouse in the chat, let us know.
Indeed.
Is that a classic manga? Oh, another manga.
We got more manga. Just manga today. We got Conan hardcovers and manga. Ground Familia Volume 2, $12.99. Kenji Hamada, and then Somalia and the Forest Spirit Volume 4.
All right.
All right, and that is it for Titan. Moving on to Oni Press, we do have a hardcover on carbon-based art of Luis LaRosa, $49.99, 25th of March.
By the way, the Oni Press, big week. We're going into New York Comic Con, right?
Yep.
We've already had some news leaked by Oni Press or about what they're going to be announcing at New York Comic Con. One being a new logo, which looks great. The other thing, Matt Kent is bringing all of his comics over to Oni Press.
Indeed.
With the huge media deal that was described as the biggest media deal for one creator since Mark Miller over at Netflix, which we all know the Mark Miller Netflix deal was massive. So super excited for Matt Kent, but he's bringing all his Flux House stuff from Dark Horse over to Oni Press starting next year with a new Mind Management series coming out as well.
Yes, indeed. I also like want to mention, partly because Omar's done plenty of overviews on the channel, that Oni Press's hardcovers are actually pretty like nice looking, and so for Kent, I guess just to be able to like bring that in, with their awesome design team, the people who are making the Adventure Time and the Rick and Morty hardcovers, that they're gonna look good on your shelf. So
yeah, I mean, Matt Kent, the whole Flux House imprint thing was done by the art movement of Fluxus, I think it's called. It's kind of like Dadaism and Surrealism. He describes it, but the idea was to do like fun and weird kind of formats with his books too. Like we had the fur covered one that he came out with, and we've had like, I don't know, he's done all kinds of weird formats for his comics, which I kind of like that. I always like when artists do something different. And Matt Kent, he's a great writer as well. One of my favorite comic book creators. So I was wanting like Mind Management library editions from Dark Horse, and he's been teasing it for years with all the different like crazy back matter and things that he would include in it, and all the different like puzzles and things around the book he would include, because that's kind of what he does too. Now I guess it's not going to come out, but maybe now through Oni Press. But interesting news bit though.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, there you go.
There we go. Me and Kevin Eastman.
You're Kevin Eastman. And yes, well, I wouldn't even call it new, just more so of another relaunch for Marvel. Mark Spector Moon Knight is going to be the same creative team. It's Jed McKay, and I cannot say the person's name, but he's been drawing it for the last couple. It's like Devmalya Praminiki, something like that. So
it's just a continuation of Jed McKay's run?
It's a continuation. McKay has been on the book now for 6 years and counting. Which is pretty insane.
Yeah, it's awesome though.
Good for him. Like 6 years, 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, however long. Anyways, moving on. Dragons of Paris, which is by Joan Safar and Tony Sandoval, $24.99. Never heard of Dragons of Paris. It looks like another original hardcover. The person's hair is doing a good chunk of the heavy lifting on the mermaid, though, I will say.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty and versus the Universe, Daniel Kibblesmith, Jarrett Williams, $35.99, coming out on the 8th of April next year, collecting the Rick and Morty versus the Universe issues 1 through 4, along with 3 event tie-in one-shots featuring Summer, Jerry, Beth, Space Beth, and Morty.
There's something announced recently. Is the Rick and Morty comic series ending or something?
Something along the lines of that sort. I don't remember the full details. So coming soon, guys. Might be coming soon. We also got some trade paperbacks, first of which is a compact edition of Adventure Time Princess Power. Who is your favorite princess? I'm very generic with mine. I always love Princess Bubblegum, but indeed, this is coming out $9.99 on the 15th of April next year, featuring issues 15, 20, 35, 62 to 69. Have you watched
the show? No.
What?
It was after my time.
You gotta watch it with your kids at some point. I love Adventure Time. Like
I think you might have tried it out, but like that and what was the other one? Regular Show. Like both of those were like super popular, like just after my time of watching Cartoon Network, and they looked interesting. My nephew loved them both, and it was one of those things where I was in the room with him, and I was like, I don't know, I don't know. I probably would have liked it if I was a little bit younger.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, this was as I was hitting in my preteen years, and I needed some cartoons to watch. So this Regular Show, Gumball, and Steven Universe took up a lot of my time.
Yes, Gumball was the other one. Yeah,
love those shows.
Although
Yes.
of the same era, Ben 10 was in that same era, and I did love watching that with my nephew.
Ben 10 is great. I had a really fun time watching that with my niece when she came over to the States.
Yeah, I'll stand by Ben 10. My son did get into that show when he was younger. I was stoked to then rewatch it with him since I watched it with my nephew before.
Yeah.
He had all the action figures and stuff too.
Yeah, guys, if you are interested in Adventure Time, pick it up, please. Only $9.99, and they've got amazing characters. You also got Volume 2 of Banana Scioli, Sony, by Michael Sanlavale, 1999.
Yeah, this is like the artist there, Michael, whatever you said. Where's Joe? The Last Man series, what they came out with through Oni Press, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was like the manga inspired series that he did before that. This is like the next one that he did. It's very manga inspired, and I think the trade paperbacks kind of reflect that as well.
Oh yeah, the cover definitely feels.
Yeah. So, oh, this says Magnetic Press at the bottom, so this is in conjunction with Magnetic Press.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So in conjunction with that, we also do have Biker Mice from Mars.
Now, did you watch this cartoon?
I have not watched this cartoon
because this was my era of cartoons, and it was awesome. I loved it. This was Saturday morning TV for sure.
Interesting. Yeah, I have never watched the show. A little before my time, but issues 1 through 4 are collected in here. Mr. Flores, who is currently on Power Rangers, is doing this book.
I do love all the resurgence of these classic comic or cartoons coming into comics. Like Dynamite's doing a ton of them.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, getting all the licenses and whatnot. We do have Covenant Volume 5 by Lysandra Wong. This is an interesting painted cover there. $24.99, coming out on the 8th of April. This is a web cartoon, so this webtoon, issues 74 to 90 are being collected in here. We've also got Demon of Bio Soleil. I cannot say anything for anything, but Marie Costa at $24.99, coming out on the 28th of January of next year. We got a World of Half Demon and Boys. If you're interested in suggestive stuff.
It's probably why Joe left. He's like, oh, I know that Oni Press has a lot of weird names and titles. I'm out.
You couldn't handle the pressure. Understandable. We also do have Night Mother Volume 2 by Jeremy Lambert and Alexis Sharp, $14.99, coming out on the 29th of April. And As the Moon is Stuck, a very young adultish, demographically inspired cover there. Six Gun Battle for Six trade paperback by Cullen Bunn and Brian Hurt, $24.99, collecting issues 1 through 3 of Battle for the Six and three prelude short stories from one issue, which is issue number 0.
Yeah, so this is like a continuation of the series, I believe, or them revisiting it.
Mm-hmm. So that compendia or that omnibus that came out, might have to get an expanded one soon. We also do have the Skull Kickers Volume 3 Compact Attack Edition. Jim Zub, Adam Warren, that is a whole host of names. Oh my goodness. Edwin Huang on the art and the cover, collecting issues 24 through 34 of Skull Kicking action.
I've heard a lot about this because I'm not into sword and sorcery comics or stories as much, which I know Josh is going to kill me for. They really have to have some sort of cool twist on it to get me interested. And this one seems very comedic and fun, which is a twist that I would enjoy. And I just love the opening phrase there. If you love swords and sassery and a touch of black-hearted violence. So I've heard nothing but good things about this, and I do want to pick it up. I didn't know they were coming out in compact editions, though. I need to look at for volumes 1 and 2 then.
They are indeed. So yeah, it's $17.99 on those parts. We also do have a couple of more lists to push through. Oh, there you go. There's a cover from Josh from not a channel sponsor. Trade paperbacks for the folks over at Mad Cave. We do have Blue Palo Verde by Ray Fox and Ramonti. Man, it's been a while since I've heard Ray Fox's name back into the fold of things. $17.99, 10th of December of this year. An OGN.
The next one, Christopher Condon. Where do I know the name from?
That Texas Blood. I almost got him confused.
Oh, okay.
Christopher Cantwell, yeah. But yeah, I love Christopher Condon. He's currently writing the last parts of his Green Arrow run, a run that I actually have really enjoyed. and also Ultimate Wolverine. So he has been around doing some big 2 stuff, and this is his Mad Cave conceptual project with Gij Shawl. And we got 2 teen friends, we got horror, and we got scary stuff, dude. Yeah.
It looks like the kids gang genre that I love, like Goonies and Stranger Things and Stand By Me.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely gonna put that on my radar.
So yes, far down below, $17.99. Next on the list, we do have Groupies, Helen Mullane, and Tula Lote. Okay, this is probably a must buy for me because I love Tula Lote's art, and I always typically buy stuff that has her art in it. This is $19.99, coming out on the 17th of December. Sunset Strip with
Sorry. Does she color her own work usually?
Yeah.
Because the colors on the cover look great.
Yeah, always. Yeah, Tule Lote always colors her own art. So we got it doubled there. We also do have Infinity Force, Volume 5, As My Camera Dies, by Ukyo Kodachi and Tatsuma Ejiri at $10.99.
This looks awesome. It's giving me like tokusatsu, like Voltron type vibes. Volume 5 though, this is Magnetic Press? No, it's not. We're talking about Mad Cave.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Maybe this was a free comic book day issue. Infinity Force. I feel like I've read some of this somehow.
The art looks familiar. Like the story all looks familiar. I know I've seen them somewhere before. I just can't.
I feel like they had a free comic book day issue that had like a strip in there or something.
Something like that. Mid-State trade paperback by Lee Loveridge and Mac Chatter, $19.99. Continuing on, we also do have the Pale Knight trade paperback. Oh, Pete Milligan here on this book with Val Rodriguez. There's a
Pete
name.
Milligan, he is a workhorse. I feel like his name just pops up randomly in all these different publishers and things.
Yeah.
But every time I read a Pete Milligan comic, I love it. He's one of those writers that, like, if you ask me my top 10 favorite comic book writers, I probably wouldn't think of him off the top of my head. But every time I read a comic of him, I feel like he's moving up my rankings of favorite writers. He's a great writer.
So, yeah. We got this set in England in 1349, which is exactly how a Peter Milligan creator-owned comic sounds like. Queen Kodiak, Christopher Greenslate, Riccardo Ficini, $14.99, coming out on the 10th of December.
Legends like Godzilla and King Kong. Oh, it's a kaiju story.
Yeah, it is indeed a kaiju story.
Okay, sign me up.
We got a big old bear and Joey Fox.
I'm sold.
You sold. And then Rack and Rune by Chris Capel and Alex Arizmendi, $14.99. You jump in. I feel like this is a story that Joe would enjoy.
Like, click on that again. Maverick, is that like an imprint?
It's an imprint, yeah.
What is it, like geared for like YA, or is it like a demographic for it?
I'm not sure actually.
Okay.
But, the folks over there, over at Mad Cave, that is their list. And then we don't have a big list for Fantagraphics, but we do have some books here to talk about with Taylor. So if you will, Atlas Comics Library, Volume 8.
Snafu. So Mad Magazine was a huge thing back in the 50s and 60s. And because it was such a big thing and popular thing, every publishing company around started to come out with their own version of Mad Magazine. And this was Atlas Comics version. It was called Snafu. So it's a comedic magazine. If you're a fan of Mad Magazine, you might want to pick this up. The Atlas Comics Library, I just did the Shiver As You Read volume that just came out on my channel. Every single one is amazing. First of all, the way they restore the artwork, it looks great. I absolutely love their restoration by Alan Harvey. But Dr. Michael Fasalo does all the introductions, and they're like lengthy introductions, 10 to 15 pages. And I just feel like I'm just like soaking up so much comic book history from it. There's no one that knows more about Atlas Comics than Dr. Michael Fasalo. If you're not familiar, Atlas is what Marvel Comics was called before they were Marvel. So this is like 1950s era Marvel. But I've been really excited for this. Again, if you're in a Mad Magazine, this might be something to pick up. And it has some, like, if you click off real fast, John Severin, who has a lengthy history with comedic magazines. He was on Mad Magazine and Cracked. Bill Everett, Joe Maneely. Yeah, so I'm really stoked for this. It includes every single issue, which I think was only 3 issues. of it, but it didn't last very long. And Marvel would have other renditions of their own comedic magazines after that, like not Brand Eck and Crazy Magazine, but this is the first one that they came out with.
There you go. Yeah, I also wrote. Yeah, that's how I got into Mad Infamous, Mike. That's the only way that I got in because they had weird stuff there, and
I didn't know there was an animated series.
It was indeed.
Huh.
It was a cartoon on Cartoon Network that aired after all of the brand new episodes of like Gumball, a regular show.
Oh, is that era?
Yeah.
Wow. I would have assumed it was like 80s or something.
It was in my time.
Well, maybe that's why I don't know what it exists. I love Mad Magazine though, like early to late Mad Magazines, all good.
Top magazine. We do have the Winnie the Pooh 100-acre comic collection, Volume 1, $29.99. You know what? I actually can say something about this because I grew up with Winnie the Pooh on Disney. Like this was part of one of my. I mean, who didn't like Piglet? I loved Eeyore, the slime, whatever. You talk about like like if it was released on DVD and it was Winnie the Pooh, there was 100% chance I watched it because I always ask my parents, "Hey, could you get me on whatever the Winnie the Poohs are and whatnot?" But yes, Christopher Robin's tales of all of these imaginary animals and what you will, backed into a Fantagraphics copy. Yeah, who's gonna say no to that? So
yeah, they've been coming out with Disney comics. Like their Disney comics have been very prolific. All the different collections they come out with, and this is their first of the Winnie the Pooh. And it's awesome. I agree with everything you said. I grew up on Winnie the Pooh as well.
Yeah, a wonderful thing about Tiggers are wonderful things. Their tops are made of rubber. Their rubbers are made out of springs and bouncing trounce and flounce, ha 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 hum. And the most wonderful thing about Tiggers is I'm the only one. Ooh, look at that! I still remember. Goodness. All right, trade paperbacks. We got Complete Hate by Peter Badge, $29.99.
Yeah, Pete Bagg. He's one of my favorite cartoonists ever. Hate was an amazing magazine. It lasted for 30 issues and then went on for annuals 1 through 9 plus another special. And if you have the Hate box set, or if you know of the Hate box set, they're basically coming out the same exact contents in 3 different paperback volumes. This is volume 2. I did see that Omar got a review copy of volume 1 from Fantagraphics, and I'm very curious how he likes it. This is a comic that I absolutely love and adore. Jess Bragg loves and adores, but I don't know if it's necessarily Omar's vibe. I'm curious how he's going to take it. Although he did grow up in the era that it's talking about. It's all about 90s culture because that's when the comic was coming out. Mm-hmm. But like 90s grunge culture and the punk movement and drugs and hijinks. It's very, very funny. Peter Bagg's one of the few cartoonists that can make me actually legitimately laugh out loud. I'm not picking this up because I have the box set, but anybody that wants to try out Peter Bagg and his funny comics, I recommend these volumes.
There you go. We've also got a Milo Manara volume to end the set. Can't believe that we're actually on the Manara volume at $24.99 for Magnificent Adventure.
And I know Omar is a fan of Manara, so
he is a very big fan of Manara. Like, who does it? Like that X-Woman one shot is the main thing that, like, I know him for. Obviously, the controversial Spider Woman variant cover as well. But he's got his, he has a lot of fans over in Europe, and I know that a lot of people, like at my comic shop, they've come in. It was always like, hey, is the brand new Milo Manara thing from like Humanoids or whatever publisher decides to put out his work, is it out yet? And it was a rave for whatever new was coming out. Like, he has his fan base.
Manara was Stepan Sejic before Stepan Sejic.
Yeah, that's a good apt that's a good apt comparison, I would say. Although I don't think Sejic has any detractors so far. Like, we just accept for what he is and whatnot.
Yeah, but maybe he will eventually. Manara's been around for a long time.
Yeah, was
that the last publisher?
That was the last publisher for this rounding month. Before we leave, like, which book are you the most excited for, Taylor?
The Ditko Spider-Man Artist Edition, and then Snafu. I think would be my number 1 and 2.
Okay,
what about you?
Solomon Kane Omnibus Volume 1. Actually, yeah, I know. I'm saying a Conan title for one of the. It's in a month where we had Invincible Omnibus Volume 1 too. So,
what format do you own Invincible in?
I don't.
Or no, you don't own it. You haven't read it. Never mind. So then you'll be picking it up in the omnibus format
If I have enough money by then.
to get that exclusive Spider-Man issue.
You get an exclusive Marvel Team Up issue that has never been collected before, and you can also get that Invincible Omnibus when it goes up for pre-order over at our American sponsors over at Cheap Graphic Novels, where you tell them, hey, we sent you, Nearman Condition sent you, and you will get that $8 flat rate shipping for free off of your next order. That is cheapgraphicnovels.com. Let them know we sent you and everything else. And I would like to thank everybody who has joined us here in the creator-owned live streams for your time and dedication to listening to us ramble about all of the books that aren't as well highlighted versus obviously the Marvel and DC editions. I also want to thank Joe, as he is not here, and of course our good NMC social media person manager, or the SMG, of course, Taylor Talks Comics, who is the leading voice, in my personal opinion, on everything Fantagraphics and also all of these more underground books as well. Thank you, my friend, for joining me on this social escapade that I keep delaying because of the stupid school semester.
No, I thank you. I appreciate that. And like I said, I'm doing 31 days of horror comics on my channel. Go subscribe to Taylor Talks Comics, and a video is dropping right now. The minute that we're talking about this, a new video is dropping going over my favorite EC comics. So if you want to talk about EC horror comics, want to know what all the hubbub is about and why I'm always waxing poetic about them, that video is going to go live within the next 60 seconds.
In the next 60 seconds, and of course you can check my YouTube channel out. Don't bother about that. You can always get the solicitations on comicreleases.com, where we do have the longest running portfolio of all of these updated editions, although I do need to add some more books to that fire. And of course a Patreon, where you can spend $2, get your own watch list, and also help us with expensive server costs. And thank you again, once again. As I say again, for like the 1500th time here on the video, we will be back later today at some point. And I hope to see you all soon. Have a great one, everybody.